let me ramble about that for a second while I'm just getting a little bit of this in my mouth. This might be too hot though, so if it is, I'll just keep inking. So, when I keep talking about the flippin' members thing, basically, I started Patreon about 8 years ago, 10 years ago? A long time ago, I started Patreon. And I had some issues with them, which was their stance on, you know, smutty things. And also, at one point, I had my money frozen. And basically after that, I it was kind of like a wake-up moment where you go, I can't trust that I can have all of my, like, earning eggs in this basket. If they freeze my money again, I'm fucked. And also, the fact that they are so weird about NSFW stuff means that I always feel tense when I put stuff on there. Now they seem to have changed their mind, if you judge by the email I got, which I read out to you guys a few streams ago, where they're basically just like, hey, do you make erotica? And I'm like, what? So they might have changed their mind now, but like, I don't know what's going on with them. So anyway, also they are beholden to PayPal, which is another thing. So anyway, I was like, okay, I need to have an alternative just in case my Patreon dies. That's not the plan, obviously. Patreon has been the most stable way for me to get my bills paid for like many years, but I always want to make sure that I have an out just in case something happens, because you always have to prepare that way. So I made like a members site on a members only place, a studio space, the Gen Den, over on my website, which is Patreon free. Sorry, not Patreon, PayPal free. So it uses just Stripe, I believe. And it shares all content that I make with Patreon. So literally, it is Patreon, but for people who don't want to use Patreon. And also, I feel like I have a bit more freedom to kind of fuck around over there. Also, did you know that you can actually do polls and things over there, which you can't do on Patreon? Because even if you put a word like porn, if you type the word porn into your blog post on Patreon, you get a little message up that goes, are you sure you want to be saying that? We're watching you. So like, I just feel so uncomfortable doing stuff on Patreon in general. So yeah, so I made the members place for anyone who wanted to maybe like throw me a monthly tip. And that is not set per thing I create. It's literally a sum per month, and that's it. And you know, it shares all the content with Patreon. I am working on making a better like intro video to it, and we're gonna redo the actual site a little bit, because it's now gonna be called the Gen Den, and it's gonna have a whole vibe. I'm also gonna be able to do raffles and things. Haven't had time yet because of Kickstarter shenanigans, but I do want to do like raffles and things on there, which again, you can't do on Patreon. So yeah, it's literally just an alternative for people. I honestly don't mind which one people use, whatever they fancy. Hello, Refractive Sauce. No.